Is the Vater body seeking revenge on the Ziquan woman? The restless soul did not respond. Silence is actually the answer. If the master-disciple relationship is established, the man before me must avenge Xiuquan Temple. His cultivation is weak, but his physique is incredibly terrifying. Turning to Buddhist practices may very likely help save the Vajra body. At that time, there might be a chance to fight the fifth demon lord. Do you still think that Lao Na has some ulterior motive? Ming Zheng spoke with a tone of despair, as if his blood was filled with sorrow. Zhu Beiwing stared at him and asked with a seemingly playful tone, "But I'm afraid that once I sign the contract, the mage might take over my body." Ming Zheng decisively declared, "Old Na is willing to hand over his soul essence, allowing you to control his life and death. He actually appreciates the other person's cautiousness. The more a warrior possesses such a character, the more they can create a false legacy." He couldn't think of any reason for the young man from the county to refuse. Can there be a nirvana mirror passed down to Shawai to resolve doubts? How many fewer wrong paths should the warrior take? Moreover, he is certain that a practitioner of kicking. How could one resist the temptation of the Vajra body? That soul essence, Zhu Beiweng's voice was filled with melancholy. Ming Zheng's expression was conflicted, but he finally steeled himself. "Take a gamble. The young nobleman seems to be straightforward. Moreover, it suppresses the indulgence of Zai. He witnessed the whole process firsthand. Such a person is definitely an upright individual. Wow! A ball of soul essence is floating in the bowl." Zhu Beiweng gazed at him, curious, and asked, "Mage, if you destroy the soul essence, will you be completely lost?" Ming Zhengxin swore an oath. "If there's a half-truth, old Na will suffer a terrible fate." Zhu Beiwang's sweaty hands flashed with a dangerous gleam in his eyes. He cautiously inquired, "Then I'll give it a try." "What? This can be tried too?" Ming Zhengzhen felt fear, doubting if his hearing was impaired. Never leave things half said. A powerful surge of true energy enveloped the soul essence. "No, Ming Zheng trembles." All the anger, fear, and regret. In an instant everything rushed towards him. "That is my boss. If you kill him, isn't it the same as killing me? I'm sorry for the intent to kill. I'm sorry, it's unforgivable." Zhu Beiwang's face was cold, and his voice showed no hint of emotion. Then calmly watched the lingering soul struggle. The soul essence was shattered by the true energy. "Boss, Ming Zheng is as mad as a lunatic." With the destruction of the soul essence, this remnant soul was instantly erased by the heavenly yang energy. Zhu Beiweng infused his true energy into the demon-subduing bowl. The thin film that hindered the investigation is indeed gone. Unfortunately, a treasure of Sheng Street. You knocked it down to the ground tier. Zhu Beiwang's mother looked at the two cracks, her gaze distant. "He is so strong, it's simply suffocating." Zhu Beiwang increasingly couldn't see through the female antagonist. Why can one summon the mythical beast, the phoenix's illusion? 5 years ago, he could easily crush 5 second-tier nirvana mirrors. "Anyway, I'm holding on to your thigh. No one can stop me." Zhu Beiwang couldn't be bothered to think so much. Just follow closely, and he will be fine. P.S. Seeking recommendations and monthly votes, Chapter 34. Do you still remember The Boy by Tehu Lake? The night breeze is gentle, and the moon shines brightly among the sparse stars. The moonlight shines on Zheng Liang's bald head. You and Huey squatted on the official road, staring intently at the cow dung on the ground. Zhu Beiwang frowned slightly, unable to seize all the money. "What are you doing with the feces?" The monk attained enlightenment. "The essence of the heart is neither good nor evil. It is the intentions that are good or evil. Be true to your heart and go with the flow." Ewan Huey's eyes sparkled, her voice filled with intense excitement. I'll just say a few random things. This can also lead to understanding." Zhu Beiweng appeared calm and composed, not showing any signs of struggle. "It's good that you've understood. It makes my guidance worthwhile." Yuan Hui suddenly looked up. "I am very grateful and bow respectfully. Thank you, Zhu Gongzi." Then he took out a bottle of elixir from the bag and presented it. "Buddhism teaches cause and effect. Monks must repay kindness." Zhu Beiwing stared at the elixir, feeling suddenly displeased. "Take it back. This time he really feels embarrassed to accept it. Seize someone else's opportunity. Turn around and collect a bottle of mid-grade Xuanji oxygen pill." The evil suppression bowl was once a sacred treasure of the highest order. Although it was knocked down by the boss, there is still a chance to repair it. Yuan Hui was anxious. "Young Master Zhu, do you want to be troubled by the karmic obstacles of the monk? If you do not allow the monk to repay his gratitude, monks can become obsessed in their practice. Well, now that we've reached this point in the conversation, if you refuse again, you'll be seen as the villain. Ah, I truly feel unworthy." Zhu Beiwing shook his head and tossed the elixir into the crescent-shaped ring. "Settled a cause and effect." Yuan Hui revealed a simple, honest smile. "Long ago, under the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment and became the Buddha. Now there is a night-blooming flower. Yuan Hui, Buddha's son, understands the Buddhist teachings. Why worry about Buddhism not thriving?" Tarai Yuan Hui opened the forum and shared the scriptures. Badao, the 3,000 high monks and disciples. In every corner of the 9 provinces, the recitation of Buddha is celebrated. Having gained benefits, Zhu Beiweng was generous with his words of praise. "This monk seems to be in the prime of his youth. Next time we'll have the chance to marry him again." Yuan Hui's face flushed, her lips trembled slightly, clearly buoyed up to the point of ecstasy. Zhu Gongzi is someone who knows how to handle things. Wolf Tooth County, near the Martial Arts Conference. Only 3 days left, and the entire county town is packed with people. Everywhere there are dancers dressed in sect attire. A prominent sect in the forefront. Or perhaps brilliant geniuses also appear here. Who doesn't want to achieve fame and success? Who doesn't want to rise high on the leaderboard and overlook the world? Young people. One morning I became famous throughout the world. The most luxurious snowfall tower in the city. The atmosphere is lively and noisy, as a small auction is taking place. In the center of the restaurant, a jade platform rises. A striking woman stood above. She wore a flowing green dress, her figure graceful and poised. "The young master of Liuxu Mountain Manor, Bai Xuangshuan. Welcome, esteemed guests. Everyone is here at my snowfall pavilion." Her voice was gentle, meeting countless envious gazes. Her demeanor remains sweet and gentle. 2 people are standing in an ordinary room. One of them was a robust and strong figure, a mighty warrior. He stood at a height of 9 feet, who ran saw purity, draped in animal skin. Another one had an ugly appearance, with a long scar running across his entire face. Like a giant serpent, the flesh rolls and twists. The ugly man stared at the jade platform woman. The expression remained unchanged as the robe was lifted high with a kick, revealing the owner's inner enthusiasm. The nightclub is actually auctioning off some trash. We don't need to waste time. The beast-skin man was quite bored, his voice rough. The ugly man remained silent, his gaze resolute. "That's right, he's E10. Put on this human skin mask, unless the Nirvana Master uses divine perception to investigate. Otherwise, you would never see his true appearance. Evil Liang, you are now at the peak of your power. What does it matter if one is arrogant? But I know how to dodge, I know how to endure. When my strength becomes terrifying, I will repay the humiliation 100-fold. Make you kneel and bow your head, then annihilate your zoo family. Only then can one take revenge and relieve their grievances. Year, wait for me. That day will soon arrive. Etan clenched his fists tightly. Every time I think of that stunning girl. She felt a deep pain in her heart, perceiving the emotional fluctuations around me. Kyuunan patted Etan's shoulder with a firm hand, spoke in a deep voice. Yeshin, I will help you. Thank you, Manji. Etian felt a bit moved, but still insisted. I am enough by myself. Not even a mere dog-like bully can be killed. How to reach the summit of Jeju Mansion to observe the common people? Beside him are his like-minded brothers, ancient tribe from the southern forest. A man particularly admires Yitan's resilient character. He encouraged aloud, "Our tribe has an ancient saying. It is a dragon destined to soar above the clouds." The sound of flowers falling. Yi Changson's blood was faintly burning within. Yes, once again the dragon endured great humiliation, but he is ultimately a dragon. Where the dragon passes, all things crawl. Thinking of this, he curled the corner of his mouth. I must also thank this wicked Lio. If there was no fall from the cliff, how could one obtain the legacy of a grandmaster? It's a pity that the treasured item on me is lost, especially that bottle of cork crunch body lotion and the half-broken fragment. When the sound of the bell rings, unknowingly, the auction has come to a close. Disciples from various sects of the falling snow tower gradually departed. Yitan tidies his clothes, heading towards the Kyoyu terrace. Ammon was puzzled. It closely follows. Miss Bai Xuanxuan, who was about to leave, stopped by a terrifying man in a gray robe. Bai Xuanxuan had a faint smile at the corner of her lips, spoke softly. "Is there something going on?" Yitan's gaze was momentarily hazy. Xuanji asks casually, "Is there a premonition pill at the auction house?" Yu Zhao Dan, low-grade Xuan level elixir, used to stabilize the 8th rank intermediate realm. This sentence, also indirectly, hinting to the woman about her current strength. Bai Xuanxuan observed her for a few moments, with an apologetic smile. "The auction house is temporarily closed. I can wait for a while." Yitan's expression suddenly became excited. The scars on his face began to argue. The feeling of being respected by others made her emotions surge within her chest. "Every time I show this ugly face, everyone will face cold eyes, and ridicule and hatred. Where is Qi Chuangshuan? Her smile is so gentle. No one cast any unusual glances. As long as Miss Bai doesn't mind. More trouble. I am willing to." Night sky, heartfelt stirring. The wording is a bit frantic. Bai Xuanxuan's two delicate brows slightly furrowed, facing the lightness of words. She turned and walked away. "Miss Bai, do you remember 3 years ago? Is that the boy by Tehu Lake?" The voice of Yitan suddenly rose sharply. Emotions are soaring high. Bai Xuanxuan paused. After a moment of thought, still shaking their head, they left. Watching her departing figure, Yitan's eyes dimmed. Found Ammon take a couple of steps quickly. A good body. Blocked the view completely. She was seething with anger. Scolded. "Shen Yaoi doubts that I can understand. But you have a woman you like. Lovesick and fickle-hearted. Where have you placed my sister? The summer night is bittersweet in my throat. Yaoi Dao, 3 years ago, I have been to Wolf Tooth County. At that time by Tehu Lake. Everyone mocks me for this useless bai. Only Bai Xuanxuan comforts me. I still remember her pair of lively eyes. Shut up, Ammon interrupted her words. We're deceiving a Zhen in our relationship. What does it matter? Yi Tianjin Mo. A sad smile appeared on her face. I like a Zhen. Also likes Bai Xuanxuan. But I can't take my eyes off at the same time. You can call me fickle if you want. Go ahead and criticize my poor emotions. But they truly love me. You want me to give up one of them. I would never be able to do that. Ammon's anger gradually subsided. Heaving a sigh, heavily stated, If you dare to betray my sister, we are irreconcilable enemies. Yitan nodded, constantly making promises. The gaze suddenly turned resolute. I must win the championship at the Woolen Conference. At that time, reveal the mask in front of Bai Xuanxuan. It will definitely capture her heart. Chapter 35. Tetugan. Early morning. The streets of Wolfang County were empty. Disciples from various sects, all gathered at the city gate. The 6 gates have arrived, welcoming with such grand specifications. That is because Liu Shan Men represents the great previous dynasty, in charge of judging the martial arts tournament. The black wolf flag flies high. At the front, a magnificent and exquisite convertible Chunhu car. The deputy stands firm in business ambitions. A flower blooms to open the gates of heaven. He appeared calm and unhurried, but peach blossom petals scatter everywhere. The spring lake is placed amidst a sea of flowers. Petals fall on his shoulder. The group of constables were unperturbed. Every time, Shang Xixing's entrance is quite peculiar. Zai Menyin frowned, staring at his silhouette. How did the conductor say when we arrived? The 6 gates must operate discreetly. Don't give the rivers and lakes false hopes. Business desires, clear and elegant with the fragrance of flowers. The gaze became profound. Someone like me will surely astonish the world. How can you expect me to be low-key? The city gate is crowded with people. The scene was unprecedentedly spectacular. The various sects of the Jiang who certainly gave the court plenty of face. He is here. Young Master Zhu has arrived, dressed in a pure white robe, pure and unblemished, slowly approaching. His face is as refined as a poem, as handsome as a painting, as entwined as a poem, intoxicating like wine, more like a gentle spring breeze, bringing tenderness and beauty to the woman. The female cultivator's eyes were filled with the essence of verdant wood. Unparalleled elegance, unparalleled in the world. In the eyes of the wolf-toothed handsome dancer, Zhu Gongzi's calm expression, shining brightly from above, overlooking from above, and the cold indifference to the lives of the masses deep within. This is a strong-willed wrist, the fearless and powerful child of heaven. He rose rapidly like a shooting star, and then it burst forth with dazzling brilliance. Most crucial, he is the confidant of the 5th demon lord. What is a trusted confidant? The position of the heart, its importance is self-evident. If the female demon lord is magical, then she is the messenger who walks through the heavens with divine speed, who dares to show disrespect. In the crowd, Yi Tian's forehead was lined with outer streaks, standing tall one by one, eyes burning with the flames of hatred. Person. I want to welcome someone. Suddenly, a tremendous uproar erupted. Only saw the daughter of the snowful mountain manor, having a lively conversation with young Master Zhu. Colorful flashes occasionally appear in her beautiful eyes. It sounds like the whispers of a hidden passage. Zugonzi, I heard you are good at expressing emotions. Can you give me some guidance? Bai Xuanxuan was exceptionally beautiful. Yin Ku Zhu Chun. The voice is very gentle. We can communicate with each other. Zhu Beiwang, the hand. Bai Chuangshuan gently blinked. Yang Chun smiled. May I have the fortune to learn beside young Master Zhu? I can be a maid too. Page. Disciples from various sects speak the truth together, deeply shocked. What did they hear? Maid. The falling snow weighs heavily on their hearts. Surprisingly willing to be a servant for others. I willingly succumb to my downfall. The painful silhouette froze. The gaze of extinction is cold. Zhu Beiwang squinted his eyes. The expression remained completely unchanged. The distinguished daughter of the Snow Mountain Manor. It's just silly Bai Tian. In front of a large audience. The posture is so lowly. Without hesitation, I recommend myself. At first sight of the man, I was hopelessly trapped, sinking into it. Zhu Beiwang believed he did not possess such charm. The charm is maximized only by the leader. It seems that the Falling Snow Mountain Villa is a fourth-rate set. I also want to follow the boss. This is to hope that he can make a recommendation from it. As you wish. Zhu Beiwang let out a faint smile. The tone, however, showed little emotional fluctuation. Not very familiar with Wolfang County. Just happens to need someone to be a messenger. A maid serving tea and water is also nice. But it stops here. Warming the bed, and such is indeed true, made him have delusions of love. Bai Xuanxuan's eyes were curved like crescent moons. Standing obediently behind Zhu Beiwang, gazing at this scene, the crowd was stunned. This is when I begin to fulfill my role as a maid. Boom, boom, boom. Like a divine thunderbolt striking from the heavens. Yi Tian's entire body was filled with combat power. The intense pain nearly consumed him. Maid. He wields his sword, making the evil liar wag its tail. I didn't expect that. It is also like the stench of a candle, a woman who seeks power and influence. This world, the coldest heart is that of a woman. Night Lent, kill the evil Lio. A man's muscles bulged with a stubborn determination. He felt an overwhelming anger, watching the woman I admire flirt with someone else. How painful it must be in the depths of the night. Even if my heart and soul shatter, hate to the point of madness. But at night, Yi Tian still maintained the last bit of sanity. Silver man. His voice was like a broken bellows. Hoarse and extremely unpleasant. It is filled with resentment. Ammon's expression was extremely grim. Loud roar. The silver person has its limits. Unwavering submission. That is just pathetic. I don't know. What are you really afraid of? After speaking, take a step forward. In a joyful and harmonious atmosphere. A sudden sound came from behind the scenes. Su family. Dare to fight me? A voice like rolling thunder. Spread throughout the venue. A man as burly as a beast. How many fingers are there? Holding a giant stick in my left hand. The battle intent is fierce. In an instant, a dead silence. The air seemed to have solidified. The disciples of the sect felt an absurdity like never before. Has this barbarian gone crazy? Does he know? Talking to an existence like no other. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm and unruffled. Others could not perceive any fluctuation in his emotions. Dare you? Ammon's giant stick fell down. Ground battle. A crack suddenly appeared at my feet. Then the body swelled. A full 2 zhang high. The aura was very domineering. The utmost rigidity and the utmost brightness. The crowd gasped in shock. Far apart, many disciples felt a chill in the air. It seems easily crushable by a giant stick. This barbarian is actually a peak 8th grade body refining expert. No wonder they dared to provoke young Master Zhu. This is about wanting to make a name for oneself in the world. Proclaim your existence. In this way, these barbarians are quite fearless. The ignorant are fearless. I want to see what abilities he has. The disciples of the sect were shocked. Can't help but feel a bit excited. Everyone knows that Zhu Gongzi is very strong. The strength is mysterious and unfathomable. This time I can finally witness him in action. A bold talent who dares to humiliate the Empress in the imperial city. How could one shrink back and not fight? Shang Yu finally turned around. Glimpse a glance with Simon. The gaze sparkled with amusement. Eighth rank peak body refinement master. Zhu Bei Wang has had enough to drink. Trapped in the Asian, one can roughly deduce his true strength. Bert, as if from the ancient desolate plains, the beast monkey. The beast skin on a man's shoulder shattered. Bare arms. Each has a tattoo. A spirit claw dragon perched on his left arm. The right arm was like a fierce tiger poised to strike. Zhuo Qinglong. Right by who? Looking back, the struggle is fully revealed. Ominous and malevolent spirits. Responding to the sound. Zhu Beiweng found it quite interesting. He turned to look at Bai Xuanxuan. A casual chatting tone. What song should I compose for an ordinary romance? Bai Xuanxuan's expression was blank. Momentarily speechless. Eyes fixed on the barbarian. With a loud bang, Ammon's vitality surged to dozens of times its normal strength. Ru Yuan Ru Hai, the momentum far exceeds the 8th rank. The terrifying might erupts. The whole person charged toward Zhu Bei. Like a great earthquake. Come and fight. Close at hand. Ammon's giant stick fell down. Zhu Beiwing remained expressionless. A casual hand reached out. Thump. A loud crash. A hand pressed down on the barbarian's head, then pressed down casually. The ground has sunk 3 feet. It felt as if the wolf-tooth mountain peak had directly fallen. Blood-marked arrow. The bones shattered. Thud. Barbarian strikes with a heavy blow. Directly kneel on the ground, vomiting a large amount of fresh blood. The screen suddenly stops. The crowd was shaken to an unimaginable extent. The brain momentarily fell into a state of stagnation. A casual strike. It's terrifying to this extent. The battle was over in the blink of an eye. Like stepping on ants by the roadside. The breeze is gentle, and the clouds are light. This is simply unbeatable. The entire scene fell into a taciturn silence. All the dancers felt an overwhelming sense of suffocation. You haven't asked me yet. What songs do you usually play? Zhu Beiwang's expression was very calm. Look at Bai Xuanxuan. Then stepped down. Click. The barbarian's bone has broken again. Bai Xuanxuan's limbs were icy cold. The voice trembles unconsciously. Don Don. Young master. Pingsha Zhu Beiwing gently wiped his sweaty hands. Then I stepped on the barbarian's head. The surrounding energy is overwhelming, sweeping over the barbarian's entire body. Click, click. A rhythmic cracking sound begins. It feels just like a melody. Zhu Beiwang's expression was very calm. Carelessly said, "Listen carefully. Is this the right tune?" A silence as deep as death. The crowd felt a chill run down their spines. The soul is in the battle power. Young Master Zhu uses bones as guitar strings. Denk. It's a bit late. 2 5,000-word pieces are presented. Request for recommendation tickets. The city gate was eerily silent. Like a dust-covered wooden corner. The sound of stretching bones. Echoing in the venue. Like cheerful singing, when gathered at different parts of the body, present a rich texture of tones. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines. It felt as if the eardrum was pierced by the sound. a wordless fear, frozen on their faces, using bones and muscles as strings. The eerie tone was like the ghostly smoke in a pool of bright red blood, presenting a seductive beauty. The barbarian was in so much pain that he lost his sense of feeling. The stark white bones lay exposed. The towering body rolls with flesh and blood. The cold aura on my body dissipated. Now it's ugly. This piece Ping Shao Liu Yan, not as satisfying as expected. Zhu Beiwen started a conversation with Bai Xuanxuan, with a relaxed and casual smile on their face, as if nothing had ever happened. Bai Xuanxuan's face was pale, like red lips unable to speak. The scene remained eerily silent. Everyone is as quiet as a cicada in winter. This is the invincible young master Zhu. Like him, daring to humiliate the empress of the empire in the imperial city is a futile existence. How could he allow a clown to provoke him? Eighth rank peak body refining master, no match for young master Zhu, without any power to resist, like an ant being crushed. In the crowd, the corner of Yi Tian's eye almost split open, the scars on the face twisted together. Hate to the point of madness, looking at a man's tragic state. His heart is like a dull knife cutting through. Ximen Yinyu brought a beautifully embroidered eyebrow to the gathering, revealing a deep sense of apprehension. The person he once scoffed at. Now it makes him feel fearful and anxious. I was almost out of breath. Why did he suddenly become so strong? Zugonzi, can you do me a favor? An elderly man in ornate robes emerged from the crowd, looking disheveled. It is Bai Sigong, the master of Liuxu Mountain Villa. He is the host. One must step in to mediate both emotionally and rationally. Zhu Beiwang's expression remained unfazed, calmly gazing down at the meat paste below. Arrogance requires ability, and I just happen to have it. However, I am a magnanimous person. Generally, one gives others two chances. So pray that you won't encounter me next time. Not killing is not to give Bai Sigong face. What is his face worth in copper coins? But Zhu Beiwang had other plans. This barbarian seems to come from a frontier tribe, naturally strong and resilient. Its vigorous essence. Even Zhu Beiwang felt a little stirred, but he held it in. Use a long line to catch big fish. Isn't it even more enjoyable? Ming Jai's humiliation. Strive for excellence until the cultivation is successful. Come back for revenge. At that time, how majestic the vitality is. Zhu Gongzi truly has a heart that can embrace all rivers. The myopia expands between nurturing. Yeah, simply a role model for the young generation of Jieshu. I was confused before. The Empress is a terrifying presence that suppresses the 9 provinces. Her Grandmaster, under her command, does not know to turn against himself. Why would one consider young Master Zhu as a trusted confidant? Now I understand. Zhu Gongzi rose like a restless tide. The future will surely shine across the 9 provinces. The disciples of the sect were discussing among themselves. In words, there is only admiration. There is still a lingering sense of frustration. He was just standing there. There is an overwhelming pressure. Let peers fear standing. That reveals a glimpse of their strength, yet it is enough to suffocate peers. Da Kaiyan Tian Jiao. Is there really anyone who can stand against it? Zhu Gongzi and I were born in the same era. It is destined to be their sorrow. Carry him away. Bai Sigong frowned and waved his hand. The disciple of Zhu Shanjuing guided him away. Fractured bones and ligaments. All the flesh and blood inside is completely shattered. Can it be reforged? It's all up to fate. Yi Tian bit down on his gums, the metallic taste of blood in the mouth. Keep him calm. and then quietly turned and left. He still needs to endure. One must endure to understand the truth. He will be in an unnoticed corner. A person licks their own wound. Then keep all the humiliation in your heart until a certain moment in the future. May this evil be repaid 100-fold. You stop. A sharp sound suddenly came through. In an instant, Etienne felt a sharp prickling sensation on his back. The hairs on my body stood on end. The heart felt as if it were tightly gripped by a hand. Following young Master Zhu's gaze, the crowd locked onto the face of the ugly man. Turn around. A cold tone swept across the scene. Impossible. This human skin mask. No dancer can hide from the Nirvana mirror. He will never recognize me. I say the same thing. I won't say it to you twice. A chilling voice, like ice and rock accumulating in Yi Tianxin's heart. He adjusted his breathing, turned the stiff body. Across the crowd of dancers, Zhu Beiwang's gaze was like a torch. It seems like you hate me. Hewitt. The audience was in an uproar. This ugly thing can't be helped. Dare to disrespect young Master Zhu? Do you also want to follow in the footsteps of the barbarians? Etienne was filled with raging anger, but her face remained expressionless. Nana said, I have none. Not available. Zhu Beiwang's deputy approached. The crowd automatically parted to make way, but in your gaze did not see reverence. He spoke in a casual tone. The gaze was sharp as a knife. Etienne lowered his head. The body couldn't help but tremble. Anger nearly consumed him. You have some reverence here. Zhu Beiwang looked on with great interest, observing the child of destiny. This opportunity to make a name for oneself. Indeed, the protagonist's presence is never lacking. He had seen through it long ago. The familiar Kaiyun Tower on the 97th floor. Crushing the competition, it cannot be covered up by any treasure. Don't take kindness for weakness. Yi Tian's pupils were filled with blood. Deep-seated hatred, unknowingly poured out. Well, disciples from various sects were outraged. Another nonsensical grasshopper is hopping around. Zhu Gongzi is bullying you. That is to think highly of you. Dun dun dun. All the disciples drew their swords, like a peacock spreading its feathers. Everyone wants to show their skills, gaining the admiration of Zhu Gongzi. Are you sure you want to speak to me like that? Zhu Beiwen smiled slightly, unexpectedly displayed a foul demeanor. Yi Tian looked up. The expression is extremely cold. In that coldness, carrying a hint of despair. Yes, a sense of helpless despair. Just now, a casual strike against Amana. He even used his hidden cards to resist. There is almost no chance of winning. Once defeated, you will be tormented and humiliated. Lustful person. Zhuganzi, I am being foolish. Etienne's voice was hoarse. Crimson-red eyes, then slowly revealed a respectful gaze. Zhu Beiwing stared at him for a few seconds, satisfied in sweaty hands. Just this once. Go ahead. After speaking, he turned and left, regarding Zhu Gongzi's disdainful attitude towards the ants. Everyone felt that there was nothing wrong. A firefly as unnoticed as an ugly man can make the brilliant bright moon pause briefly by its side. It is already a great honor. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm. Yet there is a subtle smile in the depths of the eyes. I am this kind of person. The advantage is being charitable and kind-hearted. Blood pressure skyrockets. Raging fire, feeling overwhelming humiliation and unwillingness. That's right. Hatred can transform into a continuous source of motivation. Otherwise, how will you cultivate the crab band? Once you become this treasure-hunting mouse, cannot create value for me. Then there is no need to live in this world. After the martial arts tournament ends, take away the gains you've made during this time. I hope it won't disappoint me. Suddenly, intense battle. Boop, rummel, rummel. A giant sword hung high in the sky. The aura of the sword spread, enveloping the entire Langya County. Emphasize again. This book of mine is not selling dog meat under the guise of mutton. Title of the book: Villain. Are these two words difficult to understand? Holy Mother, pay Tamin, wait a moment. It's impossible for me to have any of that. The critic disapproves of the protagonist's style. Puffing and panting. Kidian Bookstore has 1,000,000 books. Just changed to another book. No more talking. There are still 2 more watches tonight. Chapter 37. Steal my treasure. It's hard to remain indifferent. Boo. Void tremor. The sword energy grew increasingly intense and powerful. The unmatched momentum of the sword. It seems to possess signs of severing the heavens and earth's great path under the gaze of tens of thousands of Hai. A giant sword swiftly descended onto the base of Wolf Fang City. The stone slab shattered, debris flying everywhere. 2 elders and 2 youths stood by the sword. Dressed in pristine attire, golden thread embroidery creates a cloud pattern with an imposing presence. One day, Dun family ancient, the elder with white hair and a youthful face. The tone is flat, but like rolling thunder, it swept across the arena. Boom. This statement, it caused a huge uproar. Disciples of the sect. Incredulity was written all over his face. The gaze revealed a longing. Dun family ancient. That is a top-tier sect, second only to the major orthodox schools. This sect transcends the mundane world. Why would they lower themselves to the noble? Came to participate in the martial arts conference. The host, Bai Sigong, wore a serious expression. Filled with fear, his throat rolled twice. With utmost respect, they said, "May I ask everyone, what is it all about?" The white-haired elder waved his hand. A portrait is floating in mid-air. His expression was extremely cold. I won't go to see Bai Sigong at all. Who recognizes the true child? On the fingertips, a face with ordinary features is painted. A man with a determined gaze. All the disciples of the sects, everyone focused intently to watch. And then they all shook their heads. The ugly man's body in the crowd stood straight like a sculpture, struggling to control my breathing. Pretend as if it has nothing to do with you. The appearance hanging high up. It seems a bit familiar. Bai Xuanxuan murmured to herself, but I can never remember. Zhu Beiwang's demeanor was calm and composed, but the expression couldn't help but carry a hint of amusement. The old man hopes you will take the initiative to step forward. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. The old man with white hair had a visibly gloomy expression. The tone also carried a haunting quality. The words fell silent. A figure in a red robe emerged from the shadows. He gazed up at the sky, calmly said, "This is the martial arts conference." The white-haired old man stared at the prodigy of Lushan Commerce City. The tone is no longer forceful. "Zuzu Dao, young Master Shang, Elder Yan Liang of the Duan clan in Leifu Dun Valley, by the order of the sect, come to apprehend the thief who stole the treasure." Shang Yu shook his head. The words flowed slowly. "I am responsible for maintaining order at the conference. Dun Family Valley. It is extremely rude to barge in. Give me some face." The crowd fell silent. Yan Liang's expression changed. Then Lan He, "Can't give it." Once stirred, the waves rise high. The disciples of the sect were all astonished. The first to strike in the Hall of Six Gates. King Yan list fifth. Talking doesn't help. Yuan Huaijin is even more excited. He knows. Shang Xixing comes from Lushan Shangxi, a first-class gentry family, second only to the aristocratic clans. The merchants are on par with the Dun family's power. The other party is unwilling to resolve this good relationship. Infer from this, the determined young boy in the image absolutely obtained the precious treasure of the Dun family valley. Shang Yu's expression looked slightly uneasy. A cold snort expressed dissatisfaction. The ancient worm has been confirmed. The breath is right in Wolfang County. The old man scraped the ground 3 feet deep. Please make sure everyone goes on a trip without missing anyone. Yan Liang's indifferent voice fell. Bum. Suddenly, a delicate and speckled iron gate stood on the ground. Runes intertwined on both sides, forming a swirling vortex of true energy. Everyone looked away from each other. Both could see the obedience in each other's eyes. Dun's Valley does not achieve its goals. I will never give up, dare to defy their will. That is Yan Wan grabbing offerings from the table, seeking the dead end. No one wants to add suspicion to themselves for no reason. Yeshenzu clenched his fists tightly. Once again, I felt an overwhelming sense of reluctance. Everyone, don't delay. Yan Liang urged loudly. Then the 3 people beside him simultaneously released their aura. The immense true energy gathered by the 4 masters. Seal off the surrounding area of the county town. Bai Si Gong swallowed the bitterness in his throat. This commotion left Liuxu Mountain Villa utterly humiliated. Perhaps it will become a laughingstock in the Jianghu. There's no way. The skin cannot shake the great tree of the sky. He tidied his robe. Be the first to pass through the iron gate. Immediately after, the first batch of disciples from Liuxu Mountain Manor gradually entered through the iron gate. Just as the atmosphere was lively, a cold voice stood up. Get out of Wolf-Tooth Sparrow. A figure in a white robe slowly approaches. Zhu Beiwan's gaze emit a cold, eerie light. At this moment, the world suddenly fell silent for a moment. All sounds seemed to have faded away. A rolling word, containing an extremely terrifying power. Yan Liang's face was shrouded in gloom, staring intently at this handsome man. Your reckless actions. Where is the location of the 6 gates? This is the grand martial arts competition appointed by the court of the great Kayan dynasty. How dare you be so reckless? If we indulge and tolerate, in the future who will still heed the imperial edicts? Zhu Beiwen walked step by step towards. The tone grew increasingly cold. As for the treasure-seeking mouse, was it a mistake to stumble into the secret realm? It's still about murder and treasure hunting. Or perhaps it really is theft. He doesn't care at all. When the treasure appears on the treasure-hunting mouse, that is his possession. My thanes, you dare to rob too? The surname Zhu. Do you know what you're doing? Humiliated in public. Yan Liang's eyes burned with fierce anger. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm and unperturbed. Comrade, I am upholding the regulations of the grand previous dynasty. Get out of here quickly. As soon as the voice fell, the entire venue was. Originally arrogant and ignorant statement. In the current scene, it feels completely natural, as if it were taken for granted. Unrestrained. Bavrour. Dun's Valley Old Yu's true energy surged violently. Wrinkled hands turned into claws. Zhu Beiwen scrutinized him for a few moments. Then it was a smile that seemed like a smile but wasn't. You dare touch a single hair on me? Beware, Dun's Valley has been slaughtered completely. Paj, Lao Yu is struck by lightning. Yan Liang felt a chill run through him. Vague skies. A silhouette in a purple dress seems to embody perseverance. The 5th Jin Shuing. suppressing the 9 provinces continent. This ominous aura is overwhelming. It is said to be the confidant of the female demon. His throat was dry from crying. Silent half-appreciation, Kai Leng said coldly, bluffing. Who can be intimidated? Zhu Beiwen locked eyes with him. Dan Dan began to speak. You can certainly give it a try. Saying this, King Pio reached out with one hand. The disciple standing at the door, unsure of what to do, thunderously knocked back. The voice of Quoquidon Valley echoed back to the face. Not qualified yet. A husky voice. Instill shock in those around. Yan Liang's face contended for brilliance. Roaring crazily in my heart. The dog that relies on its master. There is no 5th test. You don't count for anything. The lowly ants on the stick of the female demon. From this moment on, they became invincible. He is the elder of the Dong family valley, could only endure countless humiliations. Facing this haughty face, the Yan Liang swung a punch. The entire staircase turned into crushed powder. Zhu Beiwen remained unfazed. There was no change in emotion in his eyes. Bullying the weak with power. That's my specialty. After obtaining the treasure of the night sky, you will tear him apart. I actually applaud and feel pleased. But not now. Yan Liang's eyes filled with a tangible desire to kill. Roared, Zhu family, are you sure you want to go against the Dun family? Zhu Beiwen bravely brushed off the dust from his white robe. She softly asked him back. So the Dun family valley is going to oppose the Empress. Everyone focused intently. The face of Elder Dun suddenly changed dramatically. Zion is the battle red. Then Taiking finally became completely stiff. Chapter 38. The Blessed One by Destiny stands up once again. The atmosphere in the arena was as frozen as ice. Yan Liang felt an overwhelming sense of embarrassment from every pore of his body. If he really retreats, that is the greatest shame of the Dun family valley. But this dog-like thing stands arrogantly in front of me, like a fox borrowing the tiger's power. Repulsive appearance. Long silence. Disciples from various sects gradually felt. A hint of awkwardness fermented in the silence. Can't get off the stage. The situation of the illustrious hermit sect is extremely awkward. I am already at a loss. At that moment, the rumbling, the sound of the giant's maneuver, the laughter around is overwhelming. Heoranjenti, a scroll measuring several jang in length and width, rushed forward. 2 figures are standing above. The crowd was once again in shock. Why has a Confucian expert come this time? Confucianism. Yi Tian murmured to himself. The expression is uneasy and unsettled. Then quietly slipped on the ring. You despicable bullies who prey on the weak. That was my opportunity. I work so hard and diligently. Heaven grants me an extraordinary encounter. Why do you want to seize it? In the spotlight of everyone's attention, the scroll fell to the ground. At the forefront stands a Confucian scholar appearing to be in his 40s. Lightly it raises the hair, wearing a bamboo scroll crown. Holding the camera, I wish for everything to go smoothly. A young man with a handsome appearance stood behind, wearing a small crown of black lacquer and straw, stepping on high-toothed muscles, wearing a loose, wide-sleeved top. Kong Han, who has met you all. A refined and elegant middle-aged man. Make a gesture of respect. The voice is natural and soothing. Hajj, like a boulder sinking to the lake bottom. It stirred up a stormy sea. The crowd couldn't believe it. Lion Shangyu looked on with a face full of disdain. Last name is Kong. Could it be that Dao Zion is at Kong's house? Little Wolf Tooth County. The arrival of the Kong family is upon us. Kong Hong glanced at Dun, who seemed unlike a human. and then with a calm smile on their face. As we all know, the calamity of 5,000 years. The Confucian treasure, spring and autumn. There is Jiayu Yishi outside. A few days ago, the statue of the sage in the Confucius temple manifests its spirit. Someone borrowed this night to the Pomelo. The setting is in Langya County. Please return it. The Kong family can offer you 2 nights' worth of capital. As the voice fell, the scene felt as if no one was around, utterly desolate. Not a sound was heard. Everyone's expression froze. The mind is caught in a state of wandering. Spring and autumn. 1 night. That is a Confucian treasure passed down for over 10,000 years. In the rumors, as long as it's an official month, spring and autumn, any night. You can refine the pomelo, become a mouth with an antenna, a scholar who easily contemplates life and death. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm. Emotions fluctuated within. He was truly shocked. What does it mean to be a child of destiny? Heavenly Tao bestows love and care. Disaster leads to blessings. This kind of aura. It's driving me absolutely crazy. He was certain. This piece of paper. It's right on the treasure-seeking mouse. Very good. This page of paper. It already belongs to me. Jishu continent. Not everyone can condense Pomelo. The premise is your diligent reading. Keep reading. Relying on talent again. Invoking the righteous spirit of heaven and earth. A person's time is ultimately limited. Once you choose to immerse yourself in the sea of books, that would be equivalent to giving up the path of martial arts. Relying on both martial and literary skills. That is a rare existence. This page of paper is in hand. Condensed pomelo, like eating and drinking water. Don't make it too simple. Can still comprehend the profound principles of Confucianism. No wonder he wears a disguise. It turns out that not just I have been taken away. Zhu Beiwang secretly harbored thoughts in his heart. A smile appeared in her eyes. Please return it. Kong Hong bowed to all directions. The posture is very humble. The atmosphere in the venue gradually became heavy and oppressive. The crowd's spirit was tense. There is a saying in Confucianism that goes, first courtesy, then military action. The formalities are all in place. Next, take action. Indeed, just search someone and you'll know. The youth of Shaguan strides out boldly. The indifferent gaze surveyed the surroundings. All Confucian scholars have passed away. This sentence, with an unwavering will. The Kong family in the hearts of scholars. The status is self-evident. No one would dare to misunderstand. Close to 100,000 disciples from various sects. The scholar in the West. There were also several hundred people. Etienne's forehead was beaded with cold sweat. Caught in a state of panic. My heart has turned completely cold. He has a literary talent within him. You can't hide anything from the eyes of a Confucian strongman. Once the leaf in the ring is sensed, it might trigger a chain reaction. Will my identity be exposed? And she, Zhu Ilio. There are wolves in front and tigers behind. Everything came too suddenly. Everything feels extremely unreal. This feeling, it's like walking and walking. Suddenly a foot stepped into thin air. Then the soul floated, looking at my own body, falling hopelessly into the abyss. The feeling at night. It's not suffering. It's not fear either, but rather a kind of indescribable confusion and helplessness. This is clearly an adventure I've worked so hard to achieve. You all want to take me away. Why, get out of Wolfang County. A sound, but pulled him back from despair. The entire Wolfang city, even like a cold cicada. Countless people looked on with horrifying eyes, staring at that white robe, Here it is again. Young Master Zhu steps forward once again, one by one, simply disregarding the martial arts tournament established by the court. If you want to be reckless, then be reckless. If you want to search me, go ahead. Today, unless I die here. Otherwise, the dignity of the court cannot tolerate them seeing him. A cold voice swept across the venue, like a snow-white robe fluttering in the wind. He stands right ahead, not a step back. The scholar in the crowd clenched his fists tightly. My whole body is on fire with blood. My heart is surging and turbulent. They finally understood this sentence deeply. Though millions may stand against me, no way back. Knowing it is impossible, yet doing it anyway. This momentum left them shocked and deeply moved. Why does young Master Zhu want to do this? He lacks literary talent. This ambition can never be realized through him. The reason for single-handedly resisting the Kang family, that was to defend the dignity of people like us, which is not worth mentioning, even if humble as grass and weeds. Who is willing to be searched by others? Pan Hong, who frowned, gazing at this young man rising with the rebel forces on the Jeju continent. He was not afraid of such grandiose words. The Kang family has persevered through several dynastic changes without faltering, although they have a nominal lord-vassal relationship with the Jai family. But rarely did they act on imperial orders. What he truly fears is the woman behind the young man. Fifth demon lord, 6 years ago, lauded as a sacred figure, Nirvana is feared to be like salt. John Dao Beng Chu. It was indeed death at the hands of the demon. This has nothing to do with you. The young Kang Shuo had a cold gaze. The voice lacked any warmth. Not bet. Yan Yang quickly took the opportunity to grab the gun. Your behavior is so arrogant and overbearing. Dare to show disrespect to the Kang family. Aren't you afraid of being criticized by the world's scholars? Quickly retreat. This matter can be resolved. Otherwise, I won't spare you from the Dun family valley. Zhu Beiweng's expression was calm and serene. Then she chuckled softly and spoke. I am the little Yuo under the command of the Empress. The world to me is nothing but Jia Yan. Kang Hong couldn't hold back any longer after trying everything. It's as disgusting as swallowing a fly whole. She had never seen such a dog-like sycophant, wishing to carve the name of the fifth demon on their face. Wherever you go, every word revolves around the Empress. Genzumo too walks the dog. Kang Shuo was in a state of agitation. Desire cannot be forced. Su Zioyu. Kang Hong's face turned serious. The voice was firm. Are you really going to meddle in other people's business? Zhu Beiweng met her gaze. Not a word was spoken. You want to take mine. Spring and autumn. One night. They say I'm being nosy. Kang Hong's face was as gloomy as water. Anger surged uncontrollably. How close are the female lead and the female villain? This is a mass of fog. From its reckless behavior, strong and fearless, it doesn't seem like a real crane is moving. Moreover, if it weren't for a trusted confidant, how could one arrange a guardian for a female? With the Zhu family's capabilities, how could one possibly kill the Grand Master? Absolutely a powerful figure under the dominion of the female demon lord. A person as cold-blooded and heartless as her. Unexpectedly, they paid special attention to the 8th grade dancer in the kneeling attire. What is not a confidant? The scene fell into an eerie silence once again. Everyone is captivated by Master Zhu. This unstoppable force is overwhelming. Yitan lowered his head. The body gradually relaxes. The lips curved slightly. Ignorant and foolish gossip. That's absurd. The great fortune of the world. If you knew. Are you trying to show off for me, Yi Tiakang? What thoughts would arise in your heart? Then one must be so angry that they lose their mind. Subewan. A soft reprimand. Breaking the boundless silence, Kang spoke under the hint of Kang Hong's gaze, stepping out with slow and steady strides. Watching the sky in a dream, the sky doesn't seem vast. Last year's King Yun list was overlooked. Do you dare to fight me? As soon as these words were spoken, stirring up waves of 1,000 layers, the crowd was shocked. Then it became hard to contain the anger. You are a sixth-rank scholar approaching 30. Why can you say this line so shamelessly? Kang remained expressionless. Xiao Yingying gazed at Zhu Beiwen. He is just provoking. Although forced by the power of the female tyrant, dare not kill the female. But he must be given a profound lesson. Wherever the Kang family goes, not revered by all. Nai Rong, the cat and the dog are bouncing around here. The tone still carried a sigh. Oh, Zhu Beiwen's expression was calm and gentle. Just said lightly, "Don't be too much. Please give it your all." Rumbling sound, as the words fell, directly summoned the goose platform. A phantom cage formed around me. The air trembles with a sound. Kang said disdainfully, "The name in the sleeve is the calligraphy of the Zijai swordsmanship manual," shot out urgently, in the jade-patterned air, gathered into a killing sword. Suppression formation. Kang Honggu and Yan Liang's expressions simultaneously solemn. HMPH. Zhu Beiwen struck out with a palm. Chan Chun Zio Jian. Chib. Kang let out a roar. Ku Han Tian Zion. Words become reality. But as soon as he noticed, when the aura feels a bit off, a slender, pale hand reached out, tightly embraced in the micro. It felt as if the body would shatter. Ed, the three seals emerged. Twisted patterns entwined, rumbling. The next moment, mist and haze struggle. The glorious and radiant Buddha light envelops the earth. In mid-air, the evil repelling bowl expands in the flow of Fan Wen. And then it seemed to fall like a towering mountain peak. Earth level, Kang's face turned pale. The whole person is in a state of battle, soon plunged into suffocating darkness. The entire venue fell silent like a haunted corner. The scene before me, it refreshed everyone's understanding. Just one move, just suppressed in the bowl, become the fish meat to be slaughtered by Master Zhu of the knife group. It's simply terrifying. The night sky chills from head to toe. My back is filled with chills. A sense of powerless despair. Why is the hunger therapy so powerful? In the eyes of pain and extinction, through thick thorns, such strength, so strong that they trembled in fear. Open, Kang Hung let out a cold shout. Pang Bo Hao's righteous energy surged forth. Lift the evil-suppressing bowl. The clothing of Kang Shua was blown to pieces, covered in blood. My insides almost shifted out of place. If not rescued in time, I'm afraid the literary talents will be shattered by the big bowl, becoming a useless person. Zhu Beiwen lightly brushed his robe sleeves. Yan Tai-Town's evil bowl returns to the ring. The expression seemed as if looking down at one's feet, like a jumping grasshopper, wearing a lofty demeanor, not taking it to heart. So, it is said, what do you think you are? I advise you scholars. It's better to stay grounded. Stop pretending. That voice is thin and weak, with a lazy rasp, but left everyone even more horrified. This is the imperious young Master Zhu. Kan Shua wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The complexion turned worse after a while. It's just like pig liver. Today my face was completely trampled. Bring shame to the Kong family. It's like being nailed to the pillar of shame. I refuse to accept this. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, let out a roar. "Shut up!" Kan Hong stared at him coldly. "Let you show your face. But you offered your buttocks instead. What do you think? This child relies on a magical treasure. But you didn't see. Does he have a physique and vitality that far exceeds the 8th rank?" Dun's ancient Yan Liang's expression was stiff. "This time he is truly divided in body and mind. Casually take out a high-grade earth-tier treasure. An ordinary beauty can seal a suppressive formation. Now say, evil therapy is not the henchman of the female demon lord." He resolutely does not believe it. The Kong family's bottom line cannot be broken. A night of a lifetime! We must get it back no matter what. Kang Hong who slowly began to speak. The tone was very firm. "Zhu Beiwang is uncertain." Feng Qingyan glanced at him. "The younger generation must fulfill the duties of the 6 doors. After the martial arts competition ended, no matter how the flood rages. It will be about half a month. Give the younger generation some face." The venue was silent as a grave. Master Zhu has left the stairs. Will it rain or not? Kang Hong, who suppressed his intense resentment and frustration, snorted coldly. The Kang family agreed. Dun Shigu didn't want to provoke this arrogant and ruthless person, although worrying can lead to changes. But the entire Wolf Tooth County is locked down. The thief with clipped wings finds it hard to escape. So they agreed. Zhu Beiwang fired at the two, smiling with sweaty palms. This smile comes from the heart's sincerity. This one isn't short anymore. Starting point light novel. Drunken scroll. Colleagues with built-in internet access everywhere. It's hard for newcomers to stand out. Once the recommendation is cut off, it's game over. So please continue reading. Requesting a monthly pass. Requesting recommendation tickets. Chapter 39. Can't wait any longer. Bring it here. The night on Tehu Lake ripples with scattered glimmers. The lake reflected an ugly face. Etan sat by the lakeside, tightly holding a hairpin in hand. The hairpin pierced the palm, exuding faint traces of blood. Half a month ago, he ran all over the Wolfang jade shop, the white jade that was just sought after. The craftsman carved and crafted a white jade hairpin. At first, I chose this white jade, just because of it. Skin like white jade. Her skin is like. I didn't expect you to be like Rui going to the mountains, connecting and climbing higher. A woman with considerable influence. He inserted. The hairpin was broken into 2 pieces. Zhu Elio. The grudge of the dual wives. Unbearable hatred. 1-2. I still have you. It won't be long. I'm here to pick you up. Yitian recalled that stunning woman. The gloom in my heart has dissipated significantly. However, there was always a shadow hanging over her face. Although temporarily escaping a disaster, but I can't participate in the martial arts tournament. Otherwise, once the identity is leaked, then he would fall into the abyss. Detestable. Originally, I was the center of attention, an opportunity that would make a name for oneself across the world. Dunshig, Kong family, Zhu Elio. Today's humiliation. One day it will be repaid 100-fold. Yi Tian's face contended for fame, sworn in secret. At that moment, den den den, the sound of countless footsteps, startled the turns on the lake's surface. Under the moonlight, a figure in 4 snow-white robes approached. A large group of disciples from various sects followed behind. Zugonzi, the location of Tehu, most suitable for Yi Daio, a disciple of the Snowful Mountain Villa. Sai Jian Chan Mei. The tone is very respectful. Many followers brought chairs over. Put bait on the fishing pole. Yi Tian's body was taut like a bowstring. Quietly relax, gently lowering her head. Wishes flickered in the eyes. Finally, it was deeply hidden by him. Zhu Beiweng held the fishing rod. The expression is calm and light. A jade hand reached out from the side, holding a wooden stick. Cautiously, a cherry-shaped precious fruit was delivered. "Do you think I can catch a fish?" Zhu Beiweng strolled, his heart racing. Bai Xuanxuan's beautiful eyes shimmered with moisture. "King Kai Hongchun, the young master is not fishing for fish. It is a state of mind." Zhu Beiwen remained noncommittal. "Close your eyes and embrace the moment. It feels as if one is wandering in the void of the cosmos. Transcendental and detached. The atmosphere of Tehu Lake is unusually quiet. No one dared to make a sound to disturb, beneath the elegant appearance of young Master Zhu. But it's hidden. What terrifies the world is not the means. If I could become this kind, the subordinate of a powerful presence, that is also a blessing earned over 8 lifetimes." Bai Xuanxuan elegantly holds the teacup, blew away the mist above, then handed it to the person beside. Zhu Beiweng took a sip of the kingaming. Suddenly, the other person said, "It's just impatience. Can't wait any longer." This statement seems casual, but it seems to hide a captivating secret. A sharp sound echoed, a flash of fluorescence on the water's surface. A flat, upturned beak chain flutters. See it splashes. Zhu Beiwang stood up, gently frowned. "What are you doing? Why is there no more reverence in your eyes?" Well, everyone turned their gaze to see. I saw the figure of a man in a grey robe in the distance. "Stop!" A follower shouted angrily. Etan's teeth chattered. "My lungs are about to burst." He forced himself to calm down, slowly turned around. "Isn't that the ugly man from the daytime? How did young Master Zhu tell you? One must always show reverence. Dare to treat Zhu Gong's words as mere background noise. So unreasonable, absolutely outrageous. Quick, kneel down." Disciples from various sects were filled with righteous indignation. Everyone is clamoring. Yi Tian's face was twisted with extreme anger and pain. Their gaze was icy and somber, like it's poisoned. The wrath burns through the 9 heavens. He could hardly contain himself. "I want to tear this group of beasts into 1,000 pieces." Yet he is unable to do anything, not even daring to rebut a single word. Otherwise, it will provoke the evil forces to take action. He can't break down, unseal the demon, then hate again. Do not let chaos lead to reckless bravery. Endure humiliation and carry the burden. Through the night's veil, Zhu Beiweng stared at him. "Silent path. I always feel that every move you make is quite strange." As soon as the voice fell silent, "Ush, the white-robed one is careless." The surrounding vital energy spread out like a vast net. "Morning, I'm going to wash ferns across the street." "Lao Yan, I'll fight you to the end," witnessing the overwhelming aura of killing intent. He no longer waits passively. The hatred accumulated during this time, killing intent, uncontrollable fury, all outburst. Then a fiery red long sword suddenly appeared in my hand, as if about to burst into flames. "What do you have to compete with?" Zhu Beiweng calmly extends his hand. The unparalleled brilliance of the sword light. It was crushed by him completely. The terrifying aftershocks surged through. Etienne's arm gathered a tremor. The pain is unbearable. It felt as if a massive stone had struck the whole person. Directly flew out sideways. "Lao Lian, I want you to be buried with me. Let's go to hell together." Etienne coughed up blood at the corner of his mouth. Crazy laughter. The entire body suddenly swelled. It stood a full 5 jang high, like a small mountain peak. A crimson aura surged behind him, to astonish the world, spreading in all directions at dawn. This sudden scene shocked all disciples of the sects in this area. What kind of secret technique is this? Very strong. No wonder Master Zhu said this person is strange. This definitely has the strength to win the martial arts tournament. Not revealing mountains, not entering water. Low-key and dormant. What hidden purpose does he have? It seems like truly malicious intentions. Zhu Beiwang's expression remained unfazed. A punch was thrown. Rummel, rummel. The aura of bloodshed enveloped the surroundings. It ultimately condensed into a vast sea of blood. The terrifying force shook the air. The night sky's blood-red aura instantly dimmed, and then consumed by the malevolent aura. The crowd's pupils shrank to the size of a needle. The body was engulfed by the overwhelming wave of bloodlust. Hard to stand up. Is this the true strength of Master Zhu? The vast strength of the body, like an endless stream. Yi Tian's face was filled with fear, deep despair within. I am utterly despondent, broken. The next moment, the body seemed to bear the weight of 10 forces. The protective mirror shattered. Bones shattered into pieces. Black blood oozed from the 7 orifices. You want me to be buried with you. The ominous aura beside Zhu Beiwang dissipated. A nonchalant tone. Then she stepped on Yi Tian's face. Tehu has fallen into silence. The disciples of the sect were once again stunned. If they face this punch, will it turn directly into chicken powder ashes? Unmatched and powerful. Jieju Tianjiao, who can compete with Zhu Gongzi? The knight seemed on the verge of drowning. Twisting their face, they floundered and struggled. You are once blessed on the ground. For the second time, confronted by this utterly detested figure, stepping on the face, he felt a deep humiliation and despair that comes from the depths of the soul. Are we about to fall? Not yet ascended to the 9 provinces. The revenge has not yet been taken. I refuse to give up. Zhu Beiwang stepped down hard with a blank expression. The consciousness entered the crescent moon ring. In the corner lay 4 items. Successful treasure hunt. He coldly looked down at the dying struggle of Yi Tian, like the grim reaper defying the world, in pronouncing a person's life or death. Sure. Raging true energy surged toward the fingertips. Zhu Beiwang strikes with his claw, grasping towards the face of the night sky. The human skin mask was violently torn apart. A face covered in blood is revealed. Irang. It's actually you. Zhu Beiwang and Lang He. Immediately, a kick of anger. Yi Tian felt like a kite with a broken string, flying horizontally for dozens of jang. This appearance. The disciples of the sect looked shocked. Isn't that the person from the Dunshigu capture? Hush! A storm surged through the arena. In the blink of an eye, countless people instinctively rushed towards Yi Tian. The night sky felt like a frozen cave. Unable to care about the pain tearing through my body, using the remaining true energy to perform the mysterious body technique. I cannot die. I want to pierce the heavens. I want to stand proud over the 9 provinces. The runes flashed beneath my feet. The fleeing figure, though bright and strong, but the speed is incredibly fast. Hurry up and chase. Zhu Beiwang had a cold expression, exuding a terrifying murderous intent. Yet the footsteps did not move at all. Just kidding. There are only a few treasure-seeking mice in the world. What makes it easy for you to die? This kick is your way out, your only chance of survival. It is to escape to the abyss of Wolf Fang Mountain. That is where the high-level demon beasts gather. Those below the Grand Master will surely die if they step in. But you are the child of destiny. In a desperate situation, one may still turn misfortune into fortune. If I really died, then it died. Even fate no longer favors you. What use do I have for you any more? HMPH. A terrifying presence approached from the distance. Several figures flashed by in an instant. It was the Dunn family Valley that received the news. It is him. Yan Yang holds a portrait. The air was thick with murderous intent. Zhu Beiwang's sweaty hands. Dan Paiku. Exactly. I noticed this person moving stealthily, so I decided to test it out. Indeed, wearing a specially made human skin mask. Yan Yang's eyes were bloodshot. Without further ado, we must retrieve the treasure. Wait a moment. Zhu Beiwang's deputy followed behind. A light tone. We are not familiar with each other. Since I inadvertently helped the Dunn family a great deal, the reward that should be given must be given. After Yan Yang's death, the faces of the three men turned ashen. I wish I could slice this despicable person to pieces. Thank you for your hard work. Yan Yang did not want to remain in a deadlock. Let out a roar, throwing down a bottle of elixir. Then the four of them transformed into a golden red light, vanished in an instant. The news of the Empress Dowager's movements had already spread throughout Wolf Tooth County. Half a stick of incense later, Kang Hong stepped onto the painted scroll. Zhu Xiaoyu, did you notice the charm of the woman? His gaze was piercing. The voice was filled with impatience. Zhu Beiwang examined him for a few seconds. Grabbing the torn cloth, faintly there are artifacts. The girl is quite strange. Spring and autumn. One night is very likely to happen to him. Luodun, he said meaningfully, don't let the Dunn family seize the opportunity first. Then the Kong family just smiled generously. Kang Hong's expression suddenly changed. Just about to pursue. Revenge. The goddess warned me, don't meddle in others' affairs. I've already made an exception. You see, Zhu Beiwang's expression was completely emotionless, as if narrating something that is taken for granted. Bum! A bottle of elixir fell to the ground. Kang Hong's figure vanished without a trace. Chapter 40. Everyone. Mountains and rivers will meet again. I'll go ahead first. Snowfall Tower. Zhu Beiwang sat in the quiet room. 4 treasures were placed in front of him. You read what you saw. The current achievements and my diligent efforts cannot be separated. Zhu Beiwang sighed. The sleeve gently brushed. An ancient yellow bamboo slit, appearing in hand. The text above is ancient script. The 4 little stories, 4 more trembling words. The grand righteousness of Confucianism forms a dark cloud. Drifting on bamboo slips, faintly, one can see the Confucian sages giving lectures, depict various anomalies. Spring and autumn. One night, jewels of Confucianism. Zhu Beiwang stored the bamboo slips inside the crescent-shaped ring. Avoid getting into trouble. The literary talent is temporarily not refined. Wait to return to Beijing and hide in the Empress's palace. What can the Kong family do if they notice? He shifted his gaze to a blood vial. A shapeless worm is wriggling. The trunk glows with a gentle green light. 2 wings adorned with starry red patterns. Blood and bones. Hundreds of highly poisonous demonic insects. Sealed together in Wengang for 50 years. Let them kill each other. In the end, only one could survive. Equivalent to involution. Unroll a bone of deadly poison. Zhu Beiwang squinted his eyes. He was certain this was the treasure of the Dunn clan's ancient demon. Treasure mouse. No wonder people go to great lengths to find you. You really have gone too far. Blood and bones are like mother and child bones. And this is Zig. The maternal bone is likely undone, Shigu Tianjiao, awakened individuals with special toxins. I desperately need this toxic bone. The consumption of Tun family Zygu can help achieve perfect physical fitness. It's a pity. Dun's ancient scheme was hijacked by treasure hunters. For an ordinary martial artist, blood and bones carried close can be immune to most deadly substances. A precious treasure. But Zhu Bei Wan felt the overwhelming aura of blood, but wanted to refine it directly. Pair it with some blood evil Dan herbs. Let's see if we can break through to the second level of the Northern Divine Palace. He wore a satisfied expression. Put the blood vial into the storage room. Then he looked at a bare little stone, the patterns on the pottery above. Zhu Beiwang lightly frowned. Take out a Jiazhu illustrated guide and flip through it. There is no label on this item above. Injecting true energy, the stone glimmered with a dim yellow light. Then it dimmed again, just like that broken piece. I always love collecting strange and unusual things. Zhu Beiwan gave up the search. I'll ask the boss when we get back. The purpose is to break through the bottleneck, make the true essence within the body more refined. Zhu Beiwan's eyes showed a hint of redness. He tried to understand the thoughts of the treasure-seeking mouse. Don't rush to take it. Before entering the finals of the martial arts tournament, I will break through again. Then, with a single move, he claimed victory and gained fame and fortune. The Siang Kang table is showing off. It perfectly matches the protagonist's style of playing dumb to deceive others. The foundation is still solid. My cultivation should have broken through. Zhu Beiwen smiled gently. Then a drop of essence was extracted from the ring. A few days later, the open battlefield of the Sudan. There are hundreds of arenas. The martial arts tournament was in full swing. A splendid white robe. The assistant stood atop the platform, handsome and elegant in appearance, radiating an extraordinary and ethereal aura. Ladies and gentlemen, today is sunny and breezy. The sound of birds and the fragrance of flowers. I should go now. He turned around calmly, spoke calmly. The crowd on the platform was astonished. Bai Xuangshuan's intentions were clearly evident. Yaodu Dao, is it that Liuozhu Mountain Villa did not provide adequate hospitality? Zhu Beiweng shook his head. The Empress summons. A single sentence. The scene is as quiet as a cold cicada. No one dared to ask any further. Shang wanted to scoff. It's better to leave. Stealing my spotlight all day long. Sugonzi, I am willing to serve you as my lord. Chasing left and right. Listen to Kaio Kaienkian. A swordsman stands under the gaze of the crowd, striding out boldly, bowing respectfully. This person was in the first round of the competition, ranked in the top 3. Easily submit like this. Zugonzi, I am also willing to be by your side, approaching the prison of the entire horse for you. Zugonzi, I'm determined to follow you through thick and thin. A good sentiment takes root like a tree. If I could be Zhu Gongzi's attendant, I die without regret. Disciples from various sects. The voice was strong and resonant. In their eyes there was a reverence as if they were divine. Becoming Zhu Gongzi's lackey. Not only is it not shameful, it is a great honor instead. An existence that is so overbearing, destined to surpass peers and rivals. Glorious radiance across the 9 provinces, if Master Zhu could lend a hand. Surpassing decades of hard training. Zhu Beiwing calmly looked at everyone in the Pingjing mansion. The expression reveals little emotional fluctuation. You have been the leaks of Bajais for years. Home delivery. I'm too lazy to put it down. What use are medicines? The proud descendants of the ancient deist lineage. I will still think it over. You bunch of burdens, just forget it. Mountains and rivers meet again. The future is bright for all. A gentle voice spread all around. A white robe. Under countless lost gazes. Slowly leaving, Bai Xuanxuan gazed at the tall figure. Biting her red lips, she looked lost in thought. There is an unshakable sorrow in the eyes. She and I are ultimately from different worlds. She is that kind of man. Live grandly and elegantly, in every gesture and movement. All are showcasing fearless strength and the posture of the rebellious spirit, unless she is the renowned beauty of the realm. Otherwise, how could he be worthy of her? Bai Xuanxuan's gaze gradually dimmed. Whispers like a dream. Meeting a stunningly extraordinary man in my youth. No matter the days to come. I can no longer like anyone again. The future holds promise for all. Very good. Very pretentious. This sentence belongs to me now. Outside Wolfang City, Zhu Beiwan's white robe billowed. A gallant horse gallops swiftly. A bountiful harvest. Now is not the time to leave. When should we wait? This time I'll spare you the opportunity. But to be honest, she was also lacking enthusiasm. Roughly observed 100,000 disciples. The Kai Yun Tower is not very tall. The brilliance only flickers occasionally, even if I intercepted it. All of it is junk below earth rank. Why waste time? As the bus is lackey, always hanging around the novice village and the system. When will I be able to keep up with her pace? Only the heroes of the 9 provinces. Son of Kai Yun, that is the goal. At that moment, a long rainbow swept across the void. The scroll drifts down. Kan Hong who frowned. Zhu Zaiyu, leaving without saying goodbye. Isn't that a bit too rude? Zhu Beiwing's expression was emotionless. Dan said, Ah, the Empress's mission. I also need to report to you. Kang Hong turned towards this handsome face. She pondered deeply. It always feels eerie. This kind of person relies on their power like a dog. The ruthless and decisive evil Liao. How can one tolerate Yi Tian escaping right under their eyelids? Damn it, there really is no literary talent. Otherwise, she would doubt it. This is a trap set by Yi Liao. After all, the humiliation of the Empress in the imperial city back then. This Liao possesses a terrifying cunning. The princess had a smooth journey. Kang Hong's expression turned serious. Just doubt. She really has no way to deal with this child. Liu Dan. She said coldly, the humiliation you gave to Shuor. Kang family has young Ling to return it for her. The contemporary pride of the Kang family, right. Zhu Beiwen gently wiped his sweaty hands. The expression is thought-provoking. I await eagerly. Chapter 41. The City of the Abyss. A small town shrouded in mist. The town is called Sifeng. Following the path, Zhu Beiwan originally intended to find the Gushi A. Passing by this trading center, briefly stopped by. In the realm of storage, there is a sword manual that is of no use. The low-grade Tianliu sword. He wants to exchange demon beast essence blood and blood sand grass. Entering Sifeng town, the long street was filled with the sounds of demons and spirits. Everywhere are small vendors. The street stall displays all kinds of treasures and genius finds. A palace-style building in the town that challenges jade artifacts. As a majestic white robe approached slowly, immediately attracted countless gazes. After all, the portraits of the top talents on the Kingian list spread throughout the 9 provinces. Moreover, right in front of them is the unmatched young master Zhu. Zhu Beiwen observed the ebb and flow of people, just about to head to the forest and grassland area. But they were drawn in by a group of three. To be precise, it is a girl in a pink dress playing the role of Brother Sue. Peach Blossom, eyes with a faint beauty mark. Looks incredibly flashy. This woman has a chirhythm tower with only 40 levels. The brilliant light suddenly soared to the 93rd floor. She wrapped her arms around the young man's arm. She pressed her plump chest against the young man's embrace. Behind the young man stood a weeping beauty, but the elderly man was full of spirit. There are no coincidences in a story. The opportunity has arrived. Zhu Beiwang's eyes revealed a subtle smile, then followed behind. The table by the window in the tavern. There is a bit of water chestnut cake on the table. A little girl in a bright red mini skirt. Two little feet wearing carp head shoes. Hanging in mid-air. A head adorned with double horns braids. The misalignment rests on the right shoulder. Isn't this Zhu Beiwang? He wiped away the pastry from his cheek, staring at that figure in the white robe. He. The girl clapped her hands. Suddenly, bubbles started to form on the table. Yao Wang Palace. Beneath the palace, in the darkness, the divine hero is mighty, evolving various celestial phenomena, mixed with the sound of the dragon's roar. As if the world is evolving, the sun rises and the moon sets. Time rebirth, profound and mysterious to the utmost. A purple figure stood in the center. Several laws of magic shimmered around. The aura was extremely terrifying. He suddenly opened his eyes. The pulse is continuous. The glow of twilight is hazy. Jiatu Pool. The fat cat lies by the pond. A red koi fish, blowing bubbles cheerfully. A pair of crystal clear, exquisite jade feet stood on the surface of the pond. Delicate toes, if Yang Jai were carved from soft jade. The graceful and alluring curve of the arch, transparent under the sunlight. He wore a purple bow skirt that flowed over 3 feet of water. When black silk is exposed, like a noble violet, the beep beep beep, in the bubble, reflecting a scene. The 5th scene, Shuang Wai squints. Emerald phoenix eyes. The indifferent jade armor carried a sense of laziness. Yixuan Ji, the flirtatious woman, approached the vermilion lacquered guqin. The body of the instrument has many broken lines. It depicts birds and beasts in true form. This zither is of low quality in the mystic level. The sound of the piano is soft and gentle, perfectly suited for a fairy as ethereal and elegant as you. The shopkeeper stole a glance at the towering chest. Effusive praise. The more she plays with it, the more she likes it. So he pulled the 5 generations charm. The young man is being playful. Tao Chi. Zhu Tao seeks to delight a beauty. How can I hesitate again? Spoke calmly. What is it worth? A bottle of mid-grade mysterious elixir. The shopkeeper said. Zhu Tao frowned. Sifeng Town has always been about equivalent exchange. She was clearly taken advantage of. But in front of a beauty, naturally, one must spend lavishly. Show off wealth. Give it to her. The words fell silent. The elder behind was about to take out the elixir. At that moment, this piano. I want it. A calm voice came through. A white robe appeared outside the pavilion, reaching out a hand to explore. A surge of immense energy erupted. With a good heart unexpectedly caught off guard, the guqin fell directly into Zhu Beiwang's hands. The atmosphere fell silent in an instant, gazing at this handsome face of a wind deity. Zhu Tao's expression couldn't hide her shock, immediately replaced by a deep anger. Even if you are Zhu Beiwang. And Dan boldly confronted the Zhu family in head-on. You, Xin Hao I Dej Ji Lion. at a loss for what to do. The highest bidder wins. No problem. Zhu Beiwen threw out 2 bottles of elixirs, then turned and left. 93-story Spirit Tower, at least a low-grade superior. It could even be the Tianji Gyukin, staring at this calm and composed figure from behind. Zhu Tao was seething with anger, shouted sharply, "Stop! Return the favor immediately. If it were usual, what's the harm in giving you a favor? But now no one is by my side. If the kin were to be taken away, I have lost all my face. I can't even lift my head. This is a man's dignity. Forget it, brother Tao. I will choose another piano." The woman advised softly. He is quite aware of the situation. HMBH. The more they say this, Zhu Tao's anger was increasingly hard to contain. My face feels hot and painful. Think it through. Offending the Zhu family of Hedong for a zither. He clenched his fists. The tone carried a chilling threat. Zhu Beiwen stopped in his tracks. His expression remains calm and composed. Whispered softly, "All right, Zhu Tao's anger surged upwards. A face turned the color of an eggplant. "Young master." The old man gave a glance. Zhu Tao doesn't care about that much. The humiliation was about to overflow. Relentlessly said, "My uncle is a minister in the cabinet office." "Are you sure?" The conversation was cut short. HMPH. Blood energy fills Yakshuan pavilion. A palm slapped down. Wubai Ningxi, containing the terrifying power of collapsing mountains. Airquake. A woman stands. Zhu Tao's appearance underwent a huge change. My scalp feels like it's about to explode. Feeling a rush of energy shoot straight to the crown of my head, in the face of 1,000 troops. Bum. The old man summoned the round shield. The true energy of the 5th rank surged forth, colliding with a palm in mid-air. HMPH. Smoke and dust billowed into the sky. The terrifying backlash crashed onto Zhu Tao. Zhu Tao's skull trembled. The pain twisted his expression. Vomiting blood. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry dares to shout at me. A soft voice echoed in the attic. The woman felt a chill run down her spine. Her charming face completely lost its color. "If there is no block, does that mean brother Tao will be turned into minced meat?" The shadow of a person's name. What a strong and cold-blooded man this is. A few words of argument. Just want to kill someone directly. It's too scary. Zhu Tao's lips trembled. The person was completely lost and disoriented, still recovering from that slap. Reckless. The old man's face turned ashen. A strong murderous intent bloomed in his eyes. The round shield surged with true energy. If something were to happen to the young master, he won't be able to live any more. I didn't expect that the woman would be so arrogant and domineering. Dare to fight me?" Zhu Beiwen's expression was calm and unperturbed. Even if the sky were to fall, it seems that no one would frown. He couldn't hide in front of the old man. "Sui Dao, kill me." The old man's expression was grim. Ice spirit eruption. Zhu Beiwen stared at him for a few seconds, then turned and left. A cold voice drifted in. "If you are not afraid of the Empress ruining your Zhu family, you can strike me heavily on the back." In an instant, the old man's body was as stiff as iron, like the voice of the underworld. Eliminate his overwhelming killing intent. Instead, it was a fear that penetrated to the bone. 5th Demon Lord, watching the back of the evil healer fade away. Zhu too heavily punched the ground. Hatred drives one to madness. Kyushu Pond, witnessing this scene. The fat cat widened its eyes. Jingli is also lying on the water's surface. motionless, shameless, Dai Wu Jinshuang's noble and stunning face. Still cold, he does things like this outside, gently curling the lips. The thorn carried a hint of fine blood, instantly restored the icy chill. Chapter 42. Great Contest of Power. The Third Watch. The boss's fierce roar is indeed effective. The taste of bullying with power. It really can be addictive. Zhu Beiwing had a somewhat amused expression. A familiar, indifferent voice entered my ears. Zhu Beiwing is clever. Subconscious attack sound path. This humble servant pays respects to the Empress. He lowered his head and caught the light with his peripheral vision. Only a little girl in a red short skirt was standing nearby, blowing bubbles. But that voice definitely belongs to the boss. Is this how I taught you? The voice showed no signs of emotional fluctuation. Zhu Beiwen was wrong. Did the boss find out about the bad deeds? How is that possible? He deliberately slumped his head. A look of deep reflection. That voice. Your servant made a mistake, Your Majesty. Next time, it definitely won't be like this. After a long silence. No more replies. 9 yen. No sound. I humbly send you off, Your Highness. Zhu Beiwang's voice was like a rainbow. Let out a quiet sigh of relief. Shocked by the boss's extraordinary abilities. It's simply terrifying. But just at that moment, a faint shadow approached. Water splashed up around us. The dense demonic energy transformed into a vortex. It intends to devour the white rope. Zhu Beiwen felt as if struck by lightning. Shouted in a stern voice. Reckless, I am a person of the Empress. Do you want to be slaughtered? Move. The whirlpool dissipated. The little girl stood with her hands on her hips, pouted and said, You really didn't dare. The suffocating pressure vanished. Zhu Beiwang's expression turned grave. Dare to glare at me? The girl raised her chin. I will tell the Empress right away. Nayan. The chill surrounding Zhu Beiwang instantly dissipated. Staring at him, You are. When? A purple token floated. Zhu Beiwang immediately used his true energy to investigate. No name. There was a koi swimming there. Sipai Dalao A. I've grown up like this. I've never seen someone as arrogant as you. This time I happened to catch them. Otherwise, you would be completely lawless. As the koi in the Empress's pond. It's really anger. The little girl waddled over on her short legs. Severe reprimand. Zhu Beiwang pretended not to hear. Staring at this girl, examining her closely. What does it look like? It's hard to put into words. Oval face, dyed in the eyes. Xiao Shan Mei. He respectfully inquired. Sister Koi. That was just now. A call of sister. The girl's braided pigtails all perked up. He grunted. My talent. I happen to have a twin sister. Zhu Beiwang understands everything with just a glance. Twin Koi sensing. Then synchronize the picture. Transformable monster beast. At least a 4th level. Quite the human master. Sister changes seats. Zhu Beiwang asked. Atu Dudu said. And you. Surname Yu. Zhu Beiwang was confused. Why is everyone with the surname Yu? You're talking about the chubby eunuch Yu. He is originally Yu Yingwu. Aunt Yu said sweetly. This love is like a fish. Yu Yinwu, commonly known as the Caitian fish. Surprisingly, I couldn't sense anything at all. Zhu Beiwang was truly astonished. No wonder the cultivation absorbs gold and silver. This peculiar technique. Yes, yes. Yuxiaoyi pecked at her head, angrily said, Don't change the subject. Your behavior is very terrible. Zhu Beiwang placed his hand on his shoulder, gently asking, Sister, What are you doing in Sifan town? Aunt Yu did not hide it. Old-fashioned and stubborn. I am going to the ancient city of Julong in Zizhou. Passing through Sifan town, let's eat some lingzui. I just encountered such an arrogant scene. Fallen dragon ancient city. Zhu Beiwen looked at him. But that's a forbidden place. Legend has it that a true dragon was buried 10,000 years ago. Could it be that, my sister? Yao Lai and the transformation of the dragon. Transformation into a dragon. Aunt Yu looked at it with longing. Then Yang Jiao Baianzi shook her head. Impossible. The Empress said, Where is my Jai Yuan? Jai Yuan. Zhu Beiwang's gaze flickered slightly. This time, I don't dare to intercept. She sighed. Yao Dao. The princess sister is doing well. After speaking, the deputy left. Stop right there. Aunt Yu pouted. A look of disappointment at unfulfilled potential. Bullying others by relying on one's power is unacceptable. You see a great hero, who isn't hiding away to cultivate. You insist on waving the flag of the goddess. Arrogant and domineering. Your cultivation speed, not slower than the heavens' pride. Just at the time of great conflict. Seize the opportunity to rise. I have my own difficulties. And bullying others with power. It feels amazing. Zhu Beiwang chose to remain silent. All living beings with blood. There will surely be conflicts of interest. The proud are in fierce competition, colliding to create the brightest brilliance. Behind mediocrity, falling into the dust of anxious history books. Aunt Yu is guarding in the back, nodding and shaking my head. Not long from now, the Tianji Pavilion is about to release the heavenly and earthly rankings. Just because you want to be on the heavenly rankings. That is a delusion. Zhu Beiwang squinted his eyes. A period of time before the heavenly book was opened. Tianji Pavilion will release the heaven and earth rankings. The Dai Bang is the King Yan Bang, but various major doctrines, the prestigious family lineage, the outstanding ones all vie for the heavenly rankings. 11 years ago, the 36 positions of the heaven ranking, thus killed 27, wasted 8. The fifth, which is dominant rise among peers, then at an incredible speed. Suppression of the older generation, only 11 years. Let the 9 provinces be shrouded in gloom. Since the beginning of the world in the Jiushu continent, never encountered such a terrifying cultivation speed. Xuanyuan Gate family. A divine steed named Xuanyuan emerged. Gong Sunji, the heir of the Mo school, 21 years old. The 5th-tier peak mechanical puppet has been created. The current saintess of the Yachi sacred land, Zhao Qingju, Jai family, Jai Minju, raised in the sacred Loxia palace since childhood. The warrior family is about to enter the world. Wu Zhendi, the gentleman of joy, the princess of the state. Yu Zhai Zhenzi, longevity without end. The ambition of the Wu family can be seen from their name. This is both a hope and a desire for Saizai to surpass his peers. With a grand momentum, assist Wu to establish a lasting foundation for future generations. Yu Xiaoi chattered endlessly. Couldn't help but glance up. Why do you show a greedy gaze? He frowned slightly. If it is fear, he will despise. If it's excitement, he will appreciate it. Why is it greed? He is all confused. Zhu Beiwang averted his gaze. Robo-encounter. It's all mine. I think you're handsome. Kai Liuoli Basios said. Yu Xiaoi felt annoyed by him. Zhu Beiwang lightly wiped his sweaty hands. A gentle smile appeared on his face. Actually, he is clear. Zhengli is kindly reminding. Make him more motivated. As for why it is like an old family treasure, Zhu Beiwang speculated. Probably a person who is lacking in devotion. All right, I'm leaving. Do not bully others with power. Yu Zio Yi raised his fist. I am about to leave. Wait a moment. Zhu Beiwing called out to him. Yu Zioyi lowered her voice and said, I cannot reveal my whereabouts. If detected by the ancient Tao lineage, you must capture me lightly. Then waved goodbye. Yu Zioyi looked completely bewildered. Water splashes in the air, then disappeared without a trace. Zhu Beiwen watched him leave. A hidden thought in my heart. I have already forwarded it to the well. Will there be a change in fortune? Requesting recommendation votes at midnight. Requesting a monthly pass. Seeking investment. Casually give the character a few little red stars. King Xeo said the pressure of originality is overwhelming. You must pursue the reading. Please. Chapter 43. Evil Curse. Evening. Trisha. Zhu Beiwang leaned against a large boulder, gently touching the ancient Gyukin painted in vermilion. He is very confused. Various methods were used for detection. This Gyukin is merely of the low-grade Xuan tier. Kekiyun Tower won't make mistakes. The treasure of the Xuanji will never appear. 93 layers of brilliant light. If it is hidden in darkness, if it is hidden in the dark,